Good morning, Chad. Great. Good to be with you this morning.
For those who don't know who Debra Medina is, tell them about yourself.
Another horse in this race, someone that's really out there fighting for Texas and the restoration of a constitutional republic, somebody that understands that private property ownership and gun ownership are essential elements of freedom. If we're going to own our property in Texas, we've got to eliminate property tax here. Quit having this debate, stalemate in Austin over property tax appraisal reform. We're going to eliminate property taxes in Texas. We're going to fund the necessary essential elements of government with a sales tax. We're going to restore state sovereignty, draw a line in the sand in Texas and say not one more inch, Washington, D.C. There's a very limited number of things that you ought to be doing for our country. We're going to restore that healthy balance between a state and its nation. We're going to secure our border so that we've got freedom to offer to people and prosperity. I'm looking forward to championing that fight. There's another horse in this race, and we're running hard.
And glad to have you on the program. For people who, of course, they can go on to your website and find out more information about you, MedinaForTexas.com. What separates you from Governor Rick Perry and Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison?
Rick and Kay are singing a song that they don't mean anymore. They're not really fighting for Texas. They've lost sight of those words that they're saying and the true meaning. I am fighting for a restoration of those ideas, the very things that our founders fought for. Limited government, not parental, paternalistic government, but limited government, so that you're free, truly free, to live your life as you'd like, to make wise choices and enjoy the prosperity that comes with that, free to make other choices and free to suffer the consequences that may come with those. It's not your government's job, it's not your neighbor's job to bail you out when those things happen. We need to be remembering that it is individual freedom that leads to prosperity, and that's what we ought to be restoring in Texas.
There are a lot of people who have given Rick Perry credit for being a strong conservative in Texas. Do you disagree with that?
I do. I think that he certainly articulates the words. He sings the song very well. But he's had 9 years. Our border is not more secure today. Our education is not objectively better today. Certainly property taxes are higher. The state is more in debt, nearly 3 times further in debt today than we were when Governor Perry went into office. He went into office with $12 billion of debt in Texas. Today we're facing $31 billion of debt. If we don't take on another dime of debt, you and I won't get out of debt for the state of Texas until 2047. Those are promises that he's broken or failed to keep. It's time for new leadership in Texas. I'm fighting hard to be that leader.
And how would you get Texas out of debt?
We've got to cut spending. We've got to eliminating property taxes does a lot for the economy in Texas. It gives us a $3 billion increase in personal income. It adds 150,000 new jobs to the Texas economy. That's going to generate economic activity, but we really have to look ourselves in the mirror and say, what's my government doing for me that I ought to be doing for myself? And really mean it when we say limited government. Every time we have a problem, even our Republican leaders say, I can help you with that. Your government's job is justice, to make sure that there's equal opportunity for all. But it is not to be the benefactor of society. We've got to remember that and really get back to that limited role of government. Let's allow families to take care of themselves, churches and communities to meet the needs of our neighbors, and not the government. Quit indebting Texas.
What would you do? What can the governor do about fixing education in the state?
Boy, we've got to realize that monopolies lead to poor products and services that cost a lot of money, and tear down that monopolistic wall that we've built up around public education. It is competition that gives us the best products and services. The governor has got to champion that idea, get that debate going, get that discussion going. Let's look at what we can be doing to not to just introduce, to force competition into K through 12 education. Anything less than competitive education at the K through 12 level steals from our children and puts them in the corner, if you will, of the competitive market. We have got to give them every opportunity, and the best opportunity exists in a free market, competitive environment. Let's do that in public education in Texas. We'll see those kids soar in ways that we never even dreamed of, they will be so successful.
We are visiting with Debra Medina, Republican candidate for governor. Her website, medinafortexas.com. And let's put this hypothetical situation out there right now. Let's say the United States passes health care in this country. There's a public option. That may not happen, but let's just say there's a public option in it. What would you do as governor to fight against that?
Already doing that, already encouraging people to call their state representatives and state senators, tell them that we need nullification language here in Texas. We need a law here in Texas that nullifies federal nationalized health care. We need to be calling Attorney General Greg Abbott's office and asking him to prepare a legal brief so that the instant the president signs that bill, Texas is ready to meet them in federal court with an injunction prohibiting the IRS from taking any additional tax money from Texans until such time as the constitutionality of that bill is fully litigated. We need to be telling Washington, D.C., we're going to fight you at every turn on this bill. You have no constitutional authority. It is not the role of government to provide health care. Stay out of health care. Stay out of Texas.
What is your position on toll roads?
I believe that we've got to have a full audit of the Texas Department of Transportation, probably an audit of most of the departments within Texas. We've seen really lackadaisical, I border on saying sloppy management. Certainly at TxDOT, $1 billion misplaced in their budget. We don't know where the money is. We don't need to be taxing roads that have already been paid for by tolling them. We certainly need to protect private property. We need to limit the use of eminent domain. We need to make sure we are not doing public-private partnerships, abusing private property and the trust of the people. We need to do away with comprehensive development agreements. We've got to relook at transportation, again, from a limited government, sound fiscal management perspective in Texas.
Visiting with Debra Medina, Republican candidate for governor. We only have a few more minutes with you, Ms. Medina, and we do appreciate you again coming on the program here on KFYO. Regarding border security, how do we guard the border? Is it a wall? Is it a fence? Is it technology, or is it a mix of everything?
I think it's a little bit of a mix. It's a lot more boots on the ground than what we've got today. It is getting serious about enforcing the law in the state. You know, a big part of what makes a republic successful is this idea that we have a law that applies equally to everyone. It is absolutely the role of the government and that of the executive, that of the governor, to see to it that the laws are enforced. We've given lip service to saying this is a secure border, and we mean it. We need to let Mexico know that we are serious about protecting the republic and that that border will be secure. We welcome you're tired and you're hungry and your visitors through our legal ports of entry, but you will not be allowed to abuse private property in South Texas by trampling across the Rio Grande River wherever you would like. We will deploy the Texas military force along that border. We'll make sure that we give local law enforcement, the county sheriff is the chief legal officer in the county. We need to support those county sheriffs. We need to give legal assistance to prosecutors across the state of Texas so that they can very quickly, efficiently, and with the utmost discretion prosecute those who have violated the law and come in here. We need to deport any and pursue deportation against any guest in the state of Texas, regardless of where they're visiting us from, who violate our laws. You're convicted of a crime in Texas, you're here on a visa, or you are here illegally, you will be escorted out of our state. We want law-abiding citizens so that we're all safe, free, and prosperous.
We have about 1 minute left on the in this segment. In about 1 minute, about 40 seconds, can you sum up your campaign and what you'll be fighting for Texans?
Fighting hard for that constitutional republic, that idea that private property ownership and gun ownership are essential elements of freedom. Traveling all over the state to do that, visit our website, medinafortexas.com. I'll be in West Texas later this month. Love to have the opportunity to visit with everyone that's interested in freedom and prosperity in Texas. There's a new day dawning here. We have an opportunity to grab that freedom. The spark has been lit. The fire is burning. I hope you will join us.
Debra Medina, thank you for joining us, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.